Is your pew that valuable? Is the carpet that valuable? Is your comfortable way with others in your congregation that valuable? Well, that all has value, but God is more valuable. Is He more valuable to you than those things? Jesus, talking to a young man that had a lot, said in the book of Mark, chapter 10, verse 21, Then Jesus, beholding him, loved him, and said unto him, One thing thou lackest. Go thy way. Sell whatsoever you hast, give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven. And come, take up the cross, and follow me. Is your pastor valuable? Teachers and prophets valuable where you worship? Yes, they are. But do they hold more worth to you than your God? Jesus was speaking to the people in Luke 9, verse 24. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. What if God desired you to honor Him in another place? Would your pew and your carpet, your comfortable way with others, your pastor, your teachers, your prophets, would they be more important than God's request? Remember in Genesis 12, verse 1 through 4, Now the Lord had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land I will show you. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and I will make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curse thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. Well, what did Abram do? It says, So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. Paul, when he was walking around preaching to people that he loved, doing his mission that God sent him, had a desire to go to Corinth. But he wrote in 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 7, For I will not see you now by the way, but I trust to tarry a while with you, if the Lord permit. You know, is your pew in the church? Is your carpet in the church? Is your comfortable congregation hanging out? Is your pastor, teacher, and prophets valuable? Is your church valuable? Yes, it is. But God better be more valuable to you. As it is written in Zechariah 13, verse 9, And I will bring the third part through the fire, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, It is my people, and they shall say, The Lord is my God. It's written in Acts 3, verse 6. Then Peter said, Silver and gold have I none, but such as I have I give thee. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, ride up and walk. It wasn't about the money he had in his pocket. It wasn't about the pew, the color of the carpet, how great the preacher was. It was about Jesus Christ. It was the gift that he gave. That's all he had. You know, the Israelites discovered that God was more valuable when he commanded them out of Egypt. Suddenly, ta-da, God was the single most important thing to them. They had lived in bondage for years in the same places, the same community. Then all at once, God called them out. All they had was God. God packed all their truck, packed all their camels and their donkeys and their wagons. Okay? But that was God. That's all they had. They had to trust him for that. What if God called you out of your comfort zone? Would you know him enough to be all you have? Would you know God enough for him to be all that you have? Would you know him enough to feel safe, warm, and free, just as you do every day you choose to go worship among friends? As it is written in Exodus 16, verse 3, And the children of Israel said unto them, Would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into the wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. They didn't have any food. They came out. God was all they had. What if at all once all you had was God? Do you know him outside the context of your church, outside the context of your fellowship, outside the context of your home, outside the context of your traditions, outside the context of your philosophies? What about outside the context of your personal relations? I mean, what if at once God had called you out? Do you know him outside of the context of all those things? If you do, you'll understand that just as it's written in Exodus 16, verse 4, after they had complained that God was going to kill them with hunger. Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. You know, we build up comforts, and God provides comforts. The two are very different. God is all you need. He secures the other comforts you enjoy. Have you unintentionally replaced him with the comforts he provides? Have you unintentionally worshiped the fruit of his provided comforts and lost track of him? Has your place of worship become the focus instead of your God that it stands for? You know, has your method replaced the giver of the blessing? Has your philosophy replaced his intentions? Have you been using other men and their flaws to justify your errors? What rationalizations do you offer yourself in the place of God? As it is written in 2 Chronicles, chapter 16, verse 9, For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro through the whole earth, to show himself strong in the behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. Herein thou hast done foolishly. Therefore from henceforth thou shalt have wars. Have you started worshiping the comfort that God provides? Have you lost track of him? Has your place of worship become the focus instead of God? Have you put in place methods instead of following the source of the blessing? Has your philosophy isolated you from the God and his intention? Have you been pointing at other men, using their flaws to justify what you're doing wrong? You know, what a time to find out, in a crisis when the devil has attacked you, and suddenly you discover you have unintentionally distanced yourself from God. That is not the time to find out. Why not check now? Here's some things you can look at. Do you spend more time with your fellow Christians than you do with God? If you do, you're broke. Restart. Do you read more words of man than you do God's words? How many books have you read about God in place of reading God's book? If you spend more time outside of the Word reading about the Word than you spend in the Word reading the Word, that's broke. Fix yourself. Do you seek the face of men or women you feel know God more than you? Or do you seek the face of God himself?